and welcome you back here for what will probably be our final election update here. We have a lot to cover so far. A lot has happened in the last 30 minutes or so. I think probably the most important news that we have just seen on CNN is that Hillary Clinton has called Donald Trump to concede the election. Now, again, several news organizations have already projected that Hillary Clinton will lose this election and Donald Trump will win, but we have followed closely with CNN as they're actually getting ready for a projection here. This might be the final blow, so to speak, for Hillary Clinton. But Hillary Clinton has called to concede the election to Donald Trump. We are standing by for a CNN projection here. We'll stay live until we find out what that is. But Caleb, with several states still in play, actually, it does look like Arizona has gone to Donald Trump. I'm getting live updates here on my computer. It looks like Arizona, as the CNN projection comes up, Arizona will go to Donald Trump. That is 11 electoral votes. At this point now, he has 268, 215 for Hillary Clinton. Now it's just a matter of time of which state puts him over the top.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, there could still be a situation where nobody hits 270. But with Clinton already calling Trump, with Secretary Clinton already calling Donald Trump to concede the election, and with Donald Trump only needing 2 more electoral votes with 5 states still in play, it's very likely that our new president-elect is Mr. Donald Trump. Personally, I want to just take a moment to address our viewers out there and everyone who views this. I just want to make sure that everyone respects the result of this election. Everyone respects the views of the side of Hillary Clinton supporters, as Hillary Clinton is most likely, she already called to concede she's most likely to lose this election. And just in general, that people need to respect the fact that, a majority spoke. A majority of the states spoke. So,
yeah, you hit it right on the head there, Caleb. That I think you hear a lot. We've seen a lot. It's always said each election cycle that your vote matters, your vote counts, and to go out and vote.
Yeah.
And I think this election is just another shining example of how much maybe an individual vote matters.
Yeah,
because
it really does.
It could have been very easy for Trump supporters to feel that, well, maybe this election is over. Poll after poll after poll in the coming, weeks leading up to this day showed that, really Hillary Clinton had a much easier path to 270 than Donald Trump.
Yeah, she did.
Again, a lot of respected news agencies and reporters said, well, the path to 270 for Donald Trump is very hard, but not impossible. And, we're seeing that tonight. Again, he's not clinched with 270 yet, but with Hillary Clinton basically conceding the election to Donald Trump, as I was taken aback by the Trump headquarters in New York City on CNN. It looks like they're chanting "Lock her up."
No, I thought it was USA.
And USA, yeah, lock her up in USA. As we see Mike Pence now, he is coming out onto the Trump headquarters stage in New York. It'll be interesting to see if we see Donald Trump tonight. No news yet on if we'll see him or his family. Maybe not until the official election results are in.
I doubt it until the official results are in, but I assume we see him tomorrow morning probably.
And if there's anyone more surprised than Hillary Clinton, it might be Mike Pence.
Yeah, it just might be Mike Pence.
It might be. I don't know if he saw this one coming. I think a lot of this country did not see this coming. And, again, with it not being over, it is important to keep in mind Minnesota is still in play. 90% of the votes are in. Clinton is holding about a 1% lead there. In Michigan, 90% still reported in. Trump has about a 1.5% lead there. Pennsylvania, 97%. Trump again with a lead there. And in New Hampshire, it's the difference of 0.1%. So arguably all 5 states in play right now could very easily go to Trump, pushing him possibly over the 300 mark.
Yeah, and I also think it needs to be said that the popular vote is currently sitting at 48% for Trump and 47.2% for Hillary Clinton, with only about 43% of California in.
Yeah.
As we know, California is the most populous state in these United States and a very solid blue state. So
It could be interesting to see.
It could be interesting to
Hillary
see
wins
if Hillary wins the popular vote there. Obviously, that's been done a few times in our history. Most recently, with Al Gore and Bush.
Yeah, and I kind of found myself here in kind of a disbelief, a disbelief state, because I personally did not see this coming. I did not think that this was going to happen. I think, again, I'm going to be paying special attention, as should most of the country, as to the specific details that ended up winning this election for Donald Trump, whether that would be the college-educated white voters or white voters in general, the women demographic, the black vote. He had to have secure some African-American vote tonight in order to push this over, because a lot of statistics and a lot of studies have been done that pointed to the fact that Donald Trump could not win this election on the backs of white males only.
Yeah.
So somewhere, some place, there had to be some give and take.
Yeah, there definitely had to be some crossover, and it can't be just a little bit of crossover. There was a majority, or not a majority. There had to have been a large chunk of crossover somewhere, whether that be the women vote, whether that be the black vote, whether that be the Latino vote. But exit polls are showing that a lot of it is older voters as well, not the younger voters. So maybe it's that younger voters didn't get out and vote as much, which we don't normally see. Younger voters are usually the ones that get out and vote the most. But, it's too early to tell on stuff like that. Exit polls are an inexact science.
Right.
And
polling in general
is a very inexact science, as you can see with,
and we're looking at Donald Trump right now on CNN.
There he is.
They are cutting to the Donald, our 45th president of the United States. He is clapping along with his children there. I'm sure they're all just as shocked as everyone else is.
And we have another CNN projection.
We do have a CNN projection here, so we will stick with it here. It looks like the CNN projection is going to point to that Donald Trump is elected U.S. president. It shows breaking news, and there it is.
Yep.
So we can conclusively say here, Donald Trump is elected the 45th president of the United States.
Yep. Donald Trump will be our new president-elect, and
we will not have our first female president.
We will not.
We will not. We will still have to wait for that. It has not quite been 100 years since women have been able to gain the right to vote. But what a huge night it is for not only for Donald Trump, but also for Hillary Clinton, in that she came this close to becoming the first female president. And Donald Trump looks to be getting emotional as he is clapping along with his crowd. It looks like Donald Trump will win right now. He's holding 288 electoral votes.
And looks it actually was the state of Pennsylvania that did go red.
Yeah, looks like Pennsylvania is going to be the state to finally tip the scales in favor of Donald Trump.
We've been talking about that state since 5:45. So
yeah, and I've touched on it, briefly behind the scenes, that those rural suburban mothers might very well choose this election, and sure enough, it was Pennsylvania that tipped the scales, and it looks like slowly but surely, I think we're going to start to see state by state domino into Donald Trump's favor.
Most likely.
You heard it, maybe not here first, but
maybe you did.
We maybe here first. We hope that Donald Trump will be elected the next U.S. president. So with that, Caleb, is there any kind of final thoughts you want to touch on before we wrap up our coverage tonight?
I just want to touch on, again, making sure that we can't belittle this election has been, and this America that we live in general, is the most separated it's been since we had a war in this country. So we need to come together now. We need to come together under this new president, Mr. Donald Trump. We need to come together and support one another. If you don't want to support the president, support your neighbors, support people who don't agree with you, but support people. Don't belittle people for their beliefs.
Kayla, that's a great point, and just to complement that, I think it's very important to. It's interesting to think that the president now, I'm going to have to start calling him President Trump. Is
President-elect.
President-elect Trump, that is correct. He's really challenged the system for most of his candidacy.
Sure has.
He said such things that it's rigged and that he will accept the election results after it's over, after he's won. A lot of those issues are now kind of suppressed, with Donald Trump actually becoming the next president of the United States. Obviously, Hillary has conceded, even if a recount were to take place, doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot. It looks like what really saved Trump was staying on message, reading to his prompter. We're seeing him read his prompter now. It looks like he's going to probably become a little bit more of an establishment,
that first 3 sentences of that victory speech. I assume Donald Trump might he probably will still push for his wall, but I doubt we see much bigoted rhetoric out of the Donald Trump office from now on.
Yeah, I agree with that. And, as we kind of close our thoughts out here, we will leave you with Donald Trump as the next U.S. president of the United States. So alongside Caleb LaChapelle, I'm Keenan Puncocher. Thank you all to who tuned in either on Facebook or through social media here with Orange Media Network. This was our first time doing election coverage here. And we hope all of you got something out of it. We hope that you enjoyed it. We hope that you continue to share. And without further ado, Donald Trump will be the next president of the United States. Thanks for everyone who's tuning in.